And welcome back to part 12 of What If Goku Landed on a Lookout and was adopted by Kami. So, I'm thinking we might be able to finish it up in this part 12 here, but we'll see what happens. I might go to part 13 next week. We'll see where I end up. But last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If. Oh, I burped. Last time. I'm burping Ball Z. Or Dragon Burp Z. Um, anyway, so Beerus and Goku had their clash, but they had to go out and find Broly and Paragus, bring them to Vegeta and Nappa, and ultimately they were able to make it work because the amount of Saiyans we had on Earth just wasn't enough. So, with that said, Paragus and Broly now live on Earth, and they're actually finding that they're liking Earth quite a bit. It's relatively peaceful, something that's not common for Saiyans, so they are adjusting to that. But overall, they are finding that, yeah, this isn't that bad. Trying to integrate with society is a little bit difficult, especially with, the whole zap collar that Paragus has. But after a while, Paragus does explain that it was something to keep Broly in check for if he ever went, off the rails. Now that they're here, though, Goku's says, like, "No, you don't have to do that. No, it's all right. Trust me, my Broly can I can keep Broly in check. Isn't that right, Broly?" It's like, sure, okay. And I think Goku would take Broly on some degree under his wing, help train him up a bit, try to get control of the power. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Train a lot in the hyperbolic time chamber. I just had dinner, so excuse me if I have a burp come up now and then. Train in the hyperbolic time chamber, try to get Broly under control. They're finding it's a bit slow go. Like Goku, though, he does have the Ikari form, which he quickly realizes. Unfortunately, it is also seems to be tied to his emotions and rage. As Broly gets more frustrated, it's more difficult to control these things. But after, like, say, a year's time in the hyperbolic time chamber, Broly does manage to get Ikari into some level of control. And Goku notes that Broly is able to go toe-to-toe with him in Super Saiyan God of all things, just in Ikari. Now, Broly at this point can't hit Super Saiyan. He just doesn't have that catalyst, that trigger. But still, it's very impressive. And Beerus and Whis even commented, "Yes, it seems he has some sort of natural mutation that allows him to increase his strength exponentially. Quite impressive. Perhaps I found another worthy rival after all, Whis. Perhaps indeed, Lord Beerus. Now, where's Goku in terms of his training, by the way? That's a fair question to ask. Goku, I was going to say Broly. Goku has Super Saiyan Blue and God down. He has not tried to include it with Super Saiyan 2 because we never really saw that. I don't think so. I don't think he would. But he hasn't really been able to do much with Super God Ki and Super Saiyan 4. Or Primal, as we're calling it. Granted, he is trying, but it's just slow go. It's like, it's so, they're so separated from each other. One's the primal power of the Saiyan, the other is the divine power of God. So mixing and matching that is very difficult to do. But to say that Goku won't be able to do it, that's obviously bullcrap. But we do have to take a pause for the cause and talk about the Universe 6 tournament. Is there a Universe 6 tournament? Well, Champa, I think, does visit Beerus, but unlike before, Goku and Vegeta aren't there. Goku's actually on Earth at the moment. I do think Whis and or Beerus did teach him basically an instantaneous transportation technique like the Kais, so Goku would be able to get there on his own if he really needed to. But at the same time, it's just to make things a bit easier. But because he's not there, I don't actually think you get a Universe 6 tournament here. And the reason I don't think that so is because Beerus is still asleep, therefore there's no real need to give them food or anything like that. Whis is just paying attention to them, and plus we know for a fact that Champa never was able to find the other Dragon Ball, despite the fact that whole planet they were on was the Dragon Ball. So Champa, I think, ultimately gives up on his goals for all 7 Dragon Balls, and they just kind of drift off. Now, with that said, that brings up 2 very different variants here. One, Zeno doesn't come down because he wasn't watching the whole thing, so we don't have Zeno saying, "Oh, that might be fun." Goku doesn't meet Zeno. And 2, Zamasu doesn't watch GodTube and see the tournament happening, at least not in this timeline. Now, it all depends on what happens. Sometimes I'll let the timelines, because the timeline shenanigans in Dragon Ball, we all fully admit, are extremely messed up. But I don't think we can let Goku or Trunks out of. I don't think we can let Zamasu in this case uh, go do anything because there just was not a tournament that happened. So Zamasu, I think, so that does still bring the question though: does Zamasu go rogue? Ultimately, yes, because I think Zamasu was just a bad seed to begin with. Oh, pardon. I had pizza and I had to wash it down with some milk to keep my acid reflux in check. Um, so yeah, I've got the burps at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Zamasu probably would still go rogue. You would still probably get Goku Black. Although, honestly, I would actually have to change that a little bit. Because I don't know if you would get Goku Black, per se. Because he never saw Goku, never saw this mortal. I think, honestly, he would probably just wish for the immortal body. And that's it. So then he's the one who is going around and systematically killing the gods with his immortal body, the Kaioshin, which in turn kills the gods. And then ultimately is causing havoc in the future, which Trunks has to, go off and ask Goku for help. Goku! Or Trunks, go on it. No, it's Trunks. Sorry. I can tell you how long I've been doing this. Anyway, Trunks goes back to the past, talks to Goku. Say, who's this? Oh, this is Broly, and this is Dad Paragus. They were Saiyans we found. Found this plan. They helped us achieve this and this and this. Okay. And then Zamasu basically shows up in their timeline. Oh, hold on. That's 50 odd. Oh. In their timeline. And Zamasu can sense himself. And wondering what's going on. But ultimately, it's like, who are you? It's like, I'm Son Goku. And, explain that. He's trying to, take them all out as he followed them through. Goku, however, is just ultimately stronger than Zamasu. The problem for Zamasu here is because he never met any of these Saiyans or heard any of these, superpowered individuals, he never thought to take a body and have that extra power. So sadly, he only has his own Kaioshin power, which, while still impressive, I think it was Super Saiyan 2 Goku was able to overall beat him in the fight. And that would be no different here as they're going toe-to-toe. Trunks, Future Trunks, wasn't quite strong enough to deal with him, but Goku is, except for the fact he's got an immortal body. And Trunks basically says, "That's not going to work, Goku. Yeah, I was able to do damage to him, but just got nullified. Nullified? It's like his body. It's immortal, Saiyan. It's immortal, Ningen, you foolish mortal. Unlike you, I am a true being. I cannot be destroyed. I cannot be harmed, and I will bring balance to this." And Goku just punched him straight in the jaw. I'm gonna deck you in the schnoz. We're talking too much. And so their fight's going on. Ultimately, though, because Zamasu is so full of himself, he does forget that Whis and Beerus are still around. And that they've been there this whole time. Because I do believe they were there when Trunks showed up in the whole time. Or they would show up, sensing the issue at hand. It's like, I'm afraid meddling with the timeline is a big no-no, Zamasu. This doesn't matter. Even you, with all your power in that Kai, all your power destroyer, will not be able to stop me. Who says anything about destroying you, you little whelp? And we did mention they had better sealing techniques than the Mafia around. So they, whatever sealing technique they need to do, they do, and Zamasu gets sealed away. But then that still brings the question of what do you do with the present Zamasu? Well, they go, they meet them, and they explain what happened, and then they release the future Zamasu. He's like, I'm you. And then he explains, my plan was going to work out. It would work after all. Getting rid of all these filthy mortals. So only the most divine can survive. There's no way I can allow this there's no way I can allow this plan not to come forth. And he's about to attack when, Whis again stops the future Zamasu. But it's like, oh! And then Beerus is like, don't get cocky. Hakai! Ah! That was a badass moment from Beerus, too. We're just like, oh, you're Zamasu. You really think you're hot shit. That's adorable. Because Zamasu was one of those characters you really wanted to see get their comeuppance. Anyway, so the Zamasu arc is pretty much put to bed pretty quick. So then you just get into the Tournament of Power, or honestly, a lack thereof. Because without Goku's influence for a tournament, it's very unlikely there would be one. I'm not saying like the Grand Priest couldn't throw or Whis couldn't throw a suggestion up the grapevine or something like that, but the Grand Priest even says that Zeno has honestly just been considering wiping out the remaining universes. Yes. So there's two scenarios you get here. One where he does that, or B, where this grapevine comes along and you get the Tournament of Power suggestions. If you get that going on, your team then would be Goku, Broly, Tien. I'm sure Krillin would be and Yamcha would be able to pull their own. The androids would be around. Roshi. So right there, you still get those guys right there. Unfortunately, Piccolo's not around, but you can easily ask. You can go out and find Vegeta to go recruit Vegeta into this right now. It's like, all right, Bears. And 16 is another option as well at 16. So there you have it. I mean, Vegeta would be the strongest of the three, Nappa, Raditz, and him. So it makes sense that he would be the one they go in and recruit. So after some persuasion and threats of being destroyed, they're all in. Everyone who needs to be in is in. And so, the tournament is set. So, I mean, you could have Trunks arguably added to the group, but I just don't think Trunks would be, and we're talking about present time Trunks, added to the group. But unlike Gohan, he never had the true power unlocking, all that. He also lacks a lot of combat experience compared to all the rest of them. Whereas Gohan, despite the fact he got kind of shafted narratively, did not. He still got buffs here and there. He still actually had on the field combat experience, and he's still actually a very intellectual person. So then the Tournament of Power comes. Now, how does that break down? Well, Broly would be on the list of people that need to be taken down now, added on with Kale and Vegeta and Goku, and Jiren. So you get a lot of the similar things here, though I feel like Universe 9 and 10 would get taken out a lot quicker. Fast forward to when Broly or Kale is attacking Son Goku, I think Broly gets in feeling his friend is being threatened, and ultimately they have a clash which leads to Broly finally snapping, going berserk. And let's be honest, if you think Kale is stronger than Broly, you're freaking nuts. Broly completely outmatches Kale in just about every category. Because Broly shattered reality at his full power. Kale, as far as we can tell, never did that. So, Broly is, as soon as our match goes down, even Jiren is actually very wary of this fight. Broly's going more and more crazy. He's like, I gotta step in, throws an explosion. I think he would actually knock them both out of the ring. He actually has to put a serious amount of energy because he's feeling just that much power these guys are putting out. And, it's no joke. He actually, he shows off truly some of what he's capable of doing, and he has to blow them out of the ring before they just, destroy everything. And it's arguable that Broly's stronger than Jiren, too. It's arguable. It's never been stated. The best we get is that Goku implies Broly might be stronger than Beerus. Might. But we don't know if Jiren is actually stronger than Beerus. It's also implied Jiren might be stronger than Beerus, but we just don't know. So with them both knocked out, it does create a very big vacuum, because now you're not going to get Kefla in this fight. Goku and Jiren have their square off. But Goku shows off eventually that he does have Super Saiyan God Primal down, which looks very akin to Super Gogeta in Super Saiyan 4, just with a more godlike red hair and aura. Which that form, after Jiren actually had to use some energy up, actually is able to give Jiren a really good fight. This tires out Jiren a lot, which allows other individuals to gang up on Jiren a bit more. When Hit goes in, Jiren's actually tired out to a certain degree, even though Goku's still down for the count, which actually allows Hit to keep him in place a lot longer. Goku gets some energy from his teammates, whatever teammates are left. I think Tien lasts a bit longer in this fight as well. Maybe 17 or 18 comes on. 16 could do it too. even though he's a pure android. Either way, Goku gets back up, takes down Caulifla after she challenges him. It's ultimately then the Anna-Raza fight that comes forward. They'll take him down. You'll notice I'm rushing. I'm rushing a little bit through this, mostly because the fine point. I'm going through all the major fine points that I think need to be addressed. Ultimately, Goku. Ultimately, when you get down to the end of it, I do think Universe 7 wins. I think 17 is the one who still makes it in the end, and I think he does wish for the universes to be back. So that ultimately is the wrap up, because there's no Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I don't use the Maro arc in the manga because the manga is very different from the anime. So until then, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. And we'll have a new What If on both Wednesday and on Saturday. The Naruto Zanpakuto Ichimonji edition series is coming out on Wednesday. I'm actually going to do a separate video getting out all the things we need to address about that series before we do it. So keep your eyes out for that later in the weekend. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you folks next time. Later.